Facing Your Fears by Carla Blaschka. The bells of Cambridge struck 6, and I decided it was time to do something. "Excuse me, Lonnie," I tapped him on the shoulder. "Could I speak to you for a minute? You too, Rick." They were eating the square pink and white checkerboard cookies I had brought to the United Church's potluck and got caught with their mouths full. Their eyes went wide as they looked at me. I didn't think I was that scary, but maybe it was the parrot on my shoulder that made them swallow quickly. "Yes, ma'am?" The boys' voices went a little squeaky. Kevin's tail was whacking them both like a metronome. He had his back to them, concentrating on a sucker at the next table with a meat entree. "I need you two to get your uncle here so he can help me recover our mascot's magic from those low-down totem thieves. He won't answer my calls, but he will yours. Just tell him to come on down, tell him I'm not here, and I'll tackle him when he gets here." "But, ma'am, he told us he didn't want to come if you were here, and you are, so that would be lying." I frowned at them. "He needs to get over his irrational fear of poor little old me, and I wasn't here 10 minutes ago, so it wouldn't have been a lie then. Just make the call." I glowered at them. They made the call. Bob always had a soft spot for the twins. He scowled at me when he came into the room and threw the twins a look of disgust. They shrugged helplessly. I handed him an empty plate and gave him a little shove toward the food tables. He tripped over his shoelaces and dropped the plate. I gave him another. He filled it up and we found a table and sat. "I thought you'd be here. I heard you never miss a potluck," I said. "I heard you were comin', so I felt it was in my best interest and personal safety to give it a miss. I like coming here," he added, clearly disgruntled at having to change his habit. "So how long are you going to hold a grudge?" "I'm not that scary. It's not like I broke your arm for you, and I offered to fix the cabinet." "You're a menace. No way are you getting near my tools. No one is safe around you. I was surprised there weren't EMTs at the door when I came in," he shot back. "You should be made to wear a bell around your neck to warn people you are coming." I laughed. "Oh, pish. You're not made of porcelain. You'll heal." I shoved at his arm a little, and he pulled back sharply. His hand hit the coffee the twins had just got him, and the hot liquid spilled into his lap. He got up, fast. "Curse you, woman! Now look what you've done." His face got so red we could have boiled him for dinner. I rolled my eyes, and he went to cool down and deal with the embarrassing wet stain around his crotch. When he came back, he refused to look at me and just started eating. I let him alone until he was done. When he had shoveled in the last of the blueberry pie, I said abruptly, "The 2 diamonds are missing." He choked on his water and started to cough. I heroically refrained from pounding him on the back. "If we don't get them back, all hell will break loose on homecoming." The diamonds were an integral part of the mascot costume, with a long history and considered sacred relics. They mattered. "So it's true then?" Bob, the former coach, rubbed his face with his hands. "Okay, let's go get them back." That was what I liked best about Bob, his ability to do what needed to be done. We took his Jeep. He refused to ride in my car. "Whoever heard of such a thing?" he muttered as he drove back down the lane. "Stealing our totems." "It's crazy," I agreed. "They know how important they are. I guess we should be lucky they didn't take the crown as well, but that Headmaster Moran would be a party to this is beyond belief." He rolled into his driveway and knocked on the door. The screen door opened, cracking Bob on the elbow. He bellowed, and I dug him in the ribs to be quiet. "Don't be such a baby." He growled at me. "Mr. Moran," I said over Bob's yips, "we are here to collect our totems that were stolen from our team. We were told that you had them." He looked at us in terror. I looked back, thinking his attitude was a little over the top. I didn't think I was that scary. "Thief!" screeched my parent. "Woof!" barked Kevin. "Wasn't me, I swear it. You have to help me. They just called me. They're after all our totems." Right then there was a screech and an almighty crash. Bob's red-bodied Jeep crumpled with the distinctive sound of metal on metal. He whirled around, holding his elbow, mouth agape, took a step forward in protest, and then fell down the porch stairs. 2 men in black got out of their armored vehicle. "We're here for the curly donkey's head. Hand it over or pick your nose." Dead silence greeted that remark. We all gaped at them. You don't want us to pick your noses, do you?" All three of us shook our heads no in unison, even Bob, still prone on the ground. Before we could respond, they did with a scream as Kevin came around the car and bit down hard on MIB-1's behind, and Polly pulled the hair of MIB-2 while Bob crawled over and hung onto his legs. After the Sturm und Drang was over, the miscreants taken to jail and the totems restored to their proper place, protecting each team from the magic of the other, we, the victorious warriors, went to get a beer at the local pub. Bob made sure he was sitting as far from me as he could, but when he pushed his chair into the path of the waitress, he got our pitcher of beer delivered over his head instead. What could I do but let loose? Even Polly laughed. "Geesh, Bob," I said between gasps. "You're doing this to yourself, man. I'm not that scary." "Yes, you are," he said, and got up and kissed me. Thank you.